All right. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing good today on this fine evening or day, whatever it is for you. But hi, I'm Storm. This is my host slash co-host Zenith. Say hi.
Hello.
And yeah, welcome back. This one might take this one probably will be a little bit further out from New Year's. But at the time of recording this and streaming, it was January. Yeah, January
January
1st
1st.
of 2022.
Yeah. I actually at 1 a.m. This morning, I sent Storm a message and I was like, "Hey, it's 1:11 a.m. in the morning on January 1st. Wait, yeah, on January 1st of 2022. So that's 111/01/01/2022."
Jesus.
Which is, yeah, just sounds like some binary shit.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so we might be talking about a little bit of New Year's stuff during this podcast, but just keep in mind
It is New Year's
it is
today.
New Year's today. Yeah, so of the time of recording.
At the time of recording, yeah. But it might also take a little bit to post, or it might be a little later than usual because I might procrastinate on it.
Yeah. I definitely procrastinated on that last upload because I was like, I can upload it later because we had Christmas last time.
Yep.
So we it was Christmas Eve on the day we were supposed to record it, and then Christmas the next day. So I was spending time with my family the whole time.
So that's a good procrastination.
Yeah. Well, no. What wasn't good is me procrastinating on the upload because I was like, I should have the second upload, which was the 5th episode, I think. I should have uploaded that on the Wednesday before like Christmas. But then I procrastinated, and then I was like, oh, I'll just do it like Sunday or something, and then I procrastinated, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it Wednesday, and then Wednesday comes, and I downloaded it, and I was like, shoot, and I already like it was taking a long time to download, and then so I got on and I started talking to my friends, and then I procrastinated, and then it was the next day, and I immediately got out of bed and started editing. So,
if you couldn't already tell, this part is going to be about procrastination, or this episode is going to be about procrastination.
Yeah, here we are. A little. We don't. I don't have an exact topic in mind. I'm procrastinating a little bit on the thought process of that.
Same.
But everyone procrastinates on little things, big things. Even if you don't think that you're procrastinating, you're probably procrastinating right this second. You might be listening to this podcast instead of doing your damn work. So
exactly. So finish your schoolwork.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably on Christmas break, so you never know.
Well, no, it'll you never know. Yeah, I don't know. Procrastination. There's a couple things you can talk about. A lot of people, everyone procrastinates, so a lot of people will have relations to the idea of procrastination. You can talk about experiences. You can talk about events that happened that people procrastinated in. I mean, that's kind of boring. Well, I mean, we're more on the philosophy side when we do podcasts.
Oh wait, you know what we forgot to do?
What?
Or what I forgot to do? We forgot to say that for this one, I hope you guys are all excited, but we're gonna give you time to pause the video here and go grab yourself some milk to join us on this midnight milk ride. I know your glass is probably full, or empty, I mean, from the last podcast, which you should go watch if you haven't already. And yeah, join us. So yeah, pause now and then come back.
Or you can listen, or you can grab your phone, go ahead and listen to the podcast while pouring yourself some milk. That's not a bad idea either.
Well, that's not a bad idea, but at the same time, you want to have the milk while you're listening, no matter what. You know what I mean?
You don't want to procrastinate into pouring the milk.
Exactly.
Want to get straight to it. But yeah. So we being a channel that talks a little bit about philosophy, I feel like it'd be interesting to dive into the philosophy of procrastination. I've never really thought about thinking about procrastination. I've been procrastinating on the thought, definitely. Just because, at first it wasn't interesting. I didn't think that, people just procrastinate, they don't want to do it. But I'm sure there is Like, I'm sure I can look something up. There'll be a study about procrastination.
Well, I already have some ideas and thoughts on procrastination.
I mean, yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, some of my first thoughts on procrastination is like, it's your. Of course, it's usually pertaining to like schoolwork or normal work or chores or something it may have to do. But that's because like it's taking time out of your day that you just don't want to be spending on this mundane, meaningless task. And I mean that is true to some extent. But like, if you really think about it, using those tasks and depending on what your standpoint is, like, I don't know, for example, doing chores you don't want to do because you're probably playing a video game, or you know what I mean, like you're hanging out with your friends or something. So yeah, of course you're not gonna want to do that because you're doing something that's more fun. But it's weird when you procrastinate on things like work or like your job, because it's like you're there for your job, but you don't really have much to do other than your job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you
Especially if you
procrastinate on
go
something
there.
you have to do, but you have nothing else to do.
Yeah, but because like I can completely understand not wanting to do something if you have something else you could be doing that's more fun or interesting. But it's like whenever you are at your job and you procrastinate on your job, kind of like why?
I feel like
Unless
it's
you have like a work from
one-threaded.
home job.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a work from home job, because then it's like you have all your distractions there and whatnot. Blah 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 blah.
I feel like it's smart if you just don't want to do it. You just dread doing it. But also, I don't feel like this isn't really a thought when people procrastinate. When people procrastinate, that's the first thought is I don't want to do it, so I'm not gonna do it, or I'm gonna push it until the last second, right? Or I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes the next day, and then the next day, you know, stuff like that. Procrastinating just becomes a cycle, really. But with people can also use procrastination as an excuse. Like if you have to get some work done, right? It doesn't even have to be for your job. Just so you have something to do, and your friend asks, "Hey, you want to hang out?" and you don't want to hang out with them. You can use the fact that you're procrastinating on the thing you want to work on as an excuse. You tell your friend, "Hey, I have to work on this one thing. I'm gonna get that done," and then you don't get it done.
Yeah, that's interesting right there.
Yeah.
Like using the one thing you're trying to avoid doing as your thing for doing something you don't want to do. Like that seems like a double negative if you really ask me about it.
But it brings you more positives, as not only do you get to do the thing that you not only do not get to do the thing you don't want to do, but it also crosses out the another thing that you don't want to do. But it just, leads into a loop of
procrastination.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something that like everyone can relate to though.
Definitely. It's just whether or not how to make it interesting or not is really what I'm thinking right now.
I feel like you could definitely make it interesting. It's just like, and sorry, I apologize, I'm eating.
Yeah, well maybe you should like push to talk.
It's fine. My noise gate isn't that high.
Yeah, you just your mic. But an interesting thing to talk about with procrastination is getting out of procrastination. That is a whole mental shift. In order to get out of the idea of procrastination, because I feel like you're born into this world, or you go through an experience, and you're either a procrastinator or you don't. You don't just decide one day I'm not gonna procrastinate anymore, because it's a habit. Procrastination is a habit. Non-procrastinators may procrastinate, but most procrastinators procrastinate. I guess there's a bunch of different levels of procrastination. Procrastination is an interesting word. Procrastination.
Where did they get that word?
Do you want to look it
That's
up?
what I want. How about you look it up?
Well, that's what I was doing. Procrastination. And actually, okay, well, for one, we should probably read the book definition of this. The action of delaying or postponing something. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm assuming procrastination, the whole tenation thing is probably in order to define it as a noun, so it makes more sense and pronounces better in the English language. Procrastination prefixes is what I'm kind of looking at. Because I'm sure the prefixes really define the word. Yeah, here we go. Procrastination. Oh, so we won't put off telling you about the origins of procrastination. It comes from the Latin prefix pro, meaning forward, and cratinus, meaning tomorrow. So, okay, yeah. The word means moving or acting slowly so as to fall behind, and simply implies blameworthy delay, especially through laziness or apathy. So yeah, I was right. It's the prefixes in the whatever the Latin prefixes, the Latin root words of pro and cratinus.
Yeah.
That's usually how a lot of words in the English language were defined. Because guess what? That's how the English language is built off of another language or two.
It is, well, especially, yeah, I was about to say it's either like 2 or 3.
Yeah. But getting at, I'm more interested in getting out of the cycle of procrastination. Definitely.
You know what is interesting though?
Yeah.
It's when you procrastinate on something that you want to do. Have you ever done that?
Definitely.
Like, have you ever, like, for example, playing a game? Like, you procrastinate on playing that game.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
I can tell you.
I can't even explain it. I'm the one procrastinating.
When I procrastinate on a game that I really want to play, it's because I'm afraid of starting it. When a new when a new game comes out, like maybe like a very long story-driven game, like I went halfway through Half-Life Alyx and then just stopped.
It's a great game. You want to finish that? I
know I do, but I'm procrastinating on it. And I probably won't get to that. I'll probably still be procrastinating by tomorrow and the next day. And especially since I have an index, I really should definitely play it.
Yeah.
But
you should.
I'm procrastinating. And it's this endless loop of like you want to play the game, but you wanting to play the game makes you like think about, oh, I'm gonna have to start this huge project. I'm gonna have to start this huge thing that's gonna eat up a lot of my time, and then you think more about it, and then you thinking more about like how fun the game will be will make you fear starting it.
Yeah. Okay, now that you mentioned that, I can describe it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I don't like I don't usually start games when it comes to procrastination is because I just don't like the time that I have to invest in it. It's just like, oh, that sounds tiring.
Yeah.
It's the time commitment. I feel like procrastination is also like, to get out of it, you need commitment. You know what I mean?
Commitment. Yeah.
Oh, that could have been a topic.
Commitment?
Yep.
I mean, hell, it doesn't really matter what we could start off with the topic of procrastination and go, all right, let's talk about commitment now. Change the title.
Could do that.
Definitely.
Maybe. Committing on change. Or to change.
Stop. Brain. We could talk about both procrastination and commitment, because I feel like they're both subtopics that we can tie into one overarching topic for an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Commitment. Definitely.
Well, let's stay on.
No, I'm gonna tie it. I got this. All right. Procrastinating on commitment. I feel like that is a big. That is the big defining thing that defines procrastination.
Mm-hmm. It's probably the biggest thing you can procrastinate on.
Commitment. I mean, that comes with anything. That is. Where is there a situation where you're not procrastinating on commitment?
Where I'm not procrastinating?
No. When you are procrastinating, where is there a situation where that procrastination is not on commitment? There isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it just really depends on the amount of commitment it takes for that task.
Yeah, but still, people procrastinate weeks on a mundane task. Cleaning your room might take literally 10 minutes. But the thought of it takes a lot more longer to process.
It's really weird.
That's I mean, it's a small commitment that'll take up little time of your day. Meditation, that's a big one.
Oh yeah, that's the reason I haven't started it. Just like the big time commitment. I
Yeah.
know, and my dad has told me that he started meditating, and it actually helped with his tinnitus.
Yeah. So meditation, I don't really meditate much myself, but I feel like a lot of people will benefit from meditation. And I tell a lot of people that have issues with time management and stress and stuff like that. I was like, hey, meditation. The issues on focusing on the future, mindfulness meditation, guided meditation is a big one.
It's really funny though. The people that have like time commitment issues and procrastination issues, telling them to meditate, which is probably like one of the bigger timed things you have to do. Like it takes quite a bit of time.
Honestly, and that is one of the biggest misconceptions of meditation. It doesn't.
Is it not?
10 minutes out of your day, really?
Oh, I didn't know how long they were.
It could be 10 minutes to an hour, honestly. And fitting the, like, it just depends how you schedule.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, the thinking about it, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna have to do this every day, blah, blah, blah. But, like, here's the thing. When you think about it, you're like, I don't want to pour this much time into this, so I'm gonna procrastinate on it, right? I feel like starting off with meditation, I feel like someone should start off with meditation before they create a judgment, before they start procrastinating. And that's why I'm like, if you want to start off with meditation, give it 10 minutes, and if you like it, give it an hour, right? Whatever. But like, and I tell a lot of people, 10 minutes out of your day, like, never have to do it again. You waste 10 minutes all the time, I'm sure of it. Go ahead, give it a genuine try. People usually don't, or people will go, I'll try it, and never try it. And it's just 10 minutes, a commitment of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, that 10 minutes to many people will occasionally, that 10 minutes will feel like forever. Or either that, or like that 10 minutes will make them feel like that's going to change their whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then they don't do it in return. During those 10 minutes, it's going to feel like nothing. But thinking about the 10 minutes feels like forever.
That's because you're taking in, you're procrastinating. You're using 10 minutes to procrastinate on it. That's the thing that gets me, because even I'll do that. I'll procrastinate for 10 minutes straight. For example, on meditation, I've done that where I've just spent like 10 minutes just like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just laying in bed. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Why? Don't know.
Don't feel like it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, that's... Procrastination is one of those things where it's like, everyone knows exactly what you mean. I know I've said that, but like...
Yeah.
It's true. Everyone knows what you mean by I was procrastinating. No one likes to hear that you were, especially when it pertains towards them.
Yeah, that's true.
But you can't stay mad at them for procrastinating, especially on a person, because you've done it too.
Well, you shouldn't, but you can. It happens. Like, parents get mad at their kids all the time for procrastinating. Do your schoolwork while they're procrastinating on their work, telling them to do their schoolwork, you know? So,
either that, or you can have like my parents, where they were just like, I understand, because I was like you. You are just the smaller version of me.
Yeah. No. Usually with cases I see with parents, they're like, I did it as a kid, therefore you shouldn't do it as a kid. You shouldn't.
Oh no, my parents are the opposite. Like they're like,
whatever. I understand.
Yeah, they're like, I know you are a kid. Like, wait, what was your quote? I had it in my head and then it was gone.
Is I did it as a kid, therefore you shouldn't be doing it.
No, they'll say, I did this as a kid, so you're going to do it as a kid.
Yeah. It's just two different ways to approach the situation.
I mean, but that's like, that's not good nor bad.
Yeah, it's how you parent. Oh, it can
I
be.
mean, hey, different parenting styles can lead to many different directions on the way, you perceive the world.
Yeah. I mean, you come out of your
It's
parents.
literally,
Like,
yeah, it's literally the people that raise you to think a certain way.
They raise you. They birth you. I mean, what?
It's just like common sense. Like, I know this is a bit off topic, but like, common sense isn't common anymore. It's taught. It's taught sense.
That's true.
Like, that's what it's now becoming. Common sense used to be something like, oh, you would see that. You're like, oh, I know not to do this, or that, or that, or that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming something like, oh, I have to be told not to do this. And then therefore you learn to not do other things that pertain to that. But I feel like now it's getting like to a point where it's like, they don't even know what not to do.
Yeah.
And they're not being told yes or no, this is good or bad. They're just,
Kind of like, there's a couple analogies at it, or I can think of, like,
I'm not gonna let my kid become an iPad kid.
oh no, like an analogy of like, you don't know if the stove is gonna burn you until you touch it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's how some kids are growing up now. Yeah. You know what this would be great in?
What?
The podcast of the new generation.
No!
It's just a good topic.
I mean, yeah.
We started off with the good topics. We really shouldn't have, but like, it's what we enjoy talking about.
Yeah.
I'm procrastinating on scheduling for good topics in the future, you know?
Well, luckily we did that this time.
Yeah.
We actually have a thoroughly planned out experience, which by the way, you guys are in for a treat. I'm not gonna tell you.
Thoroughly is.
Okay,
It's
fine.
a subjective word.
Okay, fine. You guys are supposedly and
Maybe.
possibly in for a treat.
The people who watch this podcast, yeah.
Yep.
I'm sitting back, just drinking root beer, like chair reclined. I'm just chilling, man. Procrastination. Oh yeah. So what was the other one? Commitment.
Yeah, commitment.
When I first hear commitment, I think of relationships, because that's
Oh,
biggest commitment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And that doesn't even have to just be like
Dating.
romantic relationships.
Yeah.
That can be literally pertain to friendships kind of
Friendships are
relationship.
huge commitments, and
It's because like there's a
Yeah.
lot. Like if you decide to become friends with someone, you're not guaranteed to go through certain things, but there are some things that you are guaranteed to go through.
it's gonna happen.
Hmm. Like you're gonna argue and you're gonna bicker at some point. Some people don't like to argue or bicker, but it's gonna happen at some point.
Hold on. Have I never argued with you? Like genuine anger?
No, I don't think so.
That's well, my first thought should be, oh, that's nice, but my first thought is that's scary because that's gonna happen.
What's our actual argument gonna be?
Yeah. Is there?
I feel like there's gonna be something real. I feel like it's gonna be something super dumb.
Yeah.
I don't
We're just
know.
both pissed off that day and we argue about Legos. Like,
Legos, yeah.
Lego
It's
Star
like-
Wars is the best Legos.
What do you mean? It's Lego Batman.
Oh my god. Is there friendships that really go on? I feel like, I don't know. Friends who don't go through arguments aren't that strong of friends. Like, it just
No, I don't feel like it's. I don't think it's that. I think it's just that like they're not the best they can be.
Let me reword it. Let me
Amazing
reword it.
friendship,
But
but it's not gonna be the best it can be until you have that argument.
No, let me reword it. Friendships that do go through arguments are stronger.
Mm-hmm. Because that shows that even on two differing opinions and sides, you can still overcome that, close it, and be stronger towards that.
Yeah.
I think the reason why is because we both understand that we have the same almost thinking minds, and we both understand that our opinions differ, on
Yeah.
certain things, and so we don't bicker on them because our opinion we already both know that we both have different opinions on certain things, and so those things that come across, we're like, oh, we might not agree, but yeah, I understand that you have a different opinion.
But I'm very curious what the first argument will be.
That is interesting. And if it is something over, if it's over something serious, it's gonna be very serious.
Oh shit, yeah.
I wouldn't dread it though.
No, I feel no, well, yeah, I won't. But I feel like arguments are more of the in the moment thing.
Oh yeah, most
You
definitely.
don't really think about it. Like all of a sudden you just like, I can't think of a scenario. But let's say like just randomly that like maybe your wife or something, not you specifically, but like generally someone's wife like buys a new car out of the blue, and like you don't know if you're financially stable for that, right? That is the in the moment, like that just
Right.
happened. You're gonna argue about it.
Yeah.
So I mean that isn't that how a lot of arguments go?
They're usually pretty juxtaposition instant. So yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, because if it's pre-planned, then it's less of an argument and more of a debate. Could have a debate with yelling, but if
Then
you
that's just
pre-planning
very
it
strong
and you have backups and sources, that's a debate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, arguments are in the moment. Mad, stinky.
I mean, but the thing is when one of us are mad, the other usually isn't.
that is
Well,
true.
unless we're both angry, but it's
It'll
usually
happen.
towards the, usually when we both are angry, it's usually towards the same thing that we agree on.
That's true. I don't know. Who knows? Big changes
Only-
will happen in the future. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Only issue is I'm so stubborn that I'll argue even though I know I'm losing.
Hmm.
Like I could straight up be in the wrong, but over something really stupid. But I'll defend it until I'm just like, okay.
Anyone will, if it's over something stupid specifically.
Yeah.
If it's over something stupid and like that, not necessarily stupid, but just like niche. Anyone will argue over it just for the principle of people like to be right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it boils down to. But things that really matter, I will definitely admit that I'm wrong because I feel like that will have a better outcome.
Yeah, no. Like usually during the debate, I'll argue until it's over. And then after, I'll take the time to reflect on it, my actions, if I was right or wrong. And then I'll usually apologize afterwards.
No, I don't do that. I do it in the moment. I reflect in the moment.
I usually try, but depending on what it is and depending on how stupid it is, I usually don't until afterwards. So then usually there may be a couple of hours to the next day after. I'm usually I apologize, I was in the wrong, you were right, and I apologize for that. And then they usually accept it. But
yeah,
going back to the whole commitment thing, there's a lot of things that go in when you say you're committing to something.
yeah.
Like you said, relationships or friendships or relationship romantic
car.
relationships. Yeah.
Anything expensive.
It doesn't even have to be expensive.
Anything that has a lot of value, period.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a better way to put it. Anything with value or that could have value is a big commitment issue.
Things that you know will change you.
I have romantic commitment issues. Friendship commitment is a bit different. It's a pretty it takes me a while to say you're my friend.
Yes, definitely. I'm there.
But when I say you're my friend, you're my friend.
Yes. For an example, in VR chat,
that one's tricky.
Or
You gotta
any online platform. When someone clicks that friend button, that doesn't mean you're my friend.
Oh yeah, no. That just means you're someone that I could become friends with.
There was this guy that I just saw after maybe a year. I haven't seen him in a year, and I haven't talked to him like I've maybe said a couple sentences to him, but he's on my friends list, and he wasn't the most stable person, and I'm assuming he looked up to me or something. I don't know, but that's how that's how I can think he drew the conclusion. But yeah, he was on my friends list for 2 years, but I barely talked to him. And like to the like I haven't talked to him enough to consider him an acquaintance. Um, so it's just how it went, right? So he was talking to my friends, and he's like, I've been friends with Zenith for a whole 2 years, and I'm like, great, you saw me when I still had a squeaky voice. Very cool. That's nice for you. Like,
Yeah,
like don't use me like as a, I don't know, as a trophy. Like, I don't know you. Jesus.
Yeah, like when people say they've known me for years, I prefer them to say they've known me.
Yeah.
Not that they're friends with me, unless me and them both unanimously agree we are friends. Then you
Yeah.
can say, oh, we've been friends. But rather than that, even I will make the decision to go, oh, I've known them.
Yeah. I mean, that's different because I feel like I would like to say I've known of them for X amount of years instead of known them, because when I say I know somebody, that means I know how like their inner mechanics. Like I know how they think, I know how they work. That's what I think when I say I known someone for this long. 'Cause that means you've known how they work, you know? That's how I know that. Or that's how I speak that way. Bryn. There's a lot of things that come with commitment. Now, procrastination on commitment is really interesting. Not all commitments you procrastinate on. Because some commitments you're looking forward to, like a game comes out, you know it's gonna take a lot of time, so and you buy it, you get it, you play it immediately, right? That's not that you're not procrastinating. That is a commitment that you just went for. Or something like friendships. Not all friendships you think about. Some just happen. Even some like romantic relationships just happen. It's not something you go through until you're actually in it.
I don't know whether those are the best or the worst relationships.
Depends. It can
Like,
be.
they can be.
Well, let's say, okay, if you meet someone and you fall in love with them the first night, and all of a sudden, like you just practically evolve into a relationship without even thinking about it, that's different. But if you're friends with someone for years on end, and all of a sudden you just like develop into a relationship without thinking about it, that's different. Because that means you've known them for so long.
Like, I don't know. I feel like relationships could be a whole podcast in and of itself, and we might do that maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But I do want to touch on that real fast, like the whole and I will bring that up again if we ever do. There's two different types of relationships. Well, three, but there's two big ones. Either a relationship where you just meet them and decide to start it, or a relationship where you've known them and then you decide to start a relationship. And when I mean no, I mean like you are either like friends, best friends, whatever it be. You've been friends with them for, I don't know, let's say a year. All right, I'm just gonna use that as a borderline. Let's say you've known them for a year.
Yeah.
Which one is better? Like that one? Would you rather go for the fresh, I want to learn who they are and about them through a relationship?
Yeah.
Which is risky, but at the same time means that I feel that if that continues, it's going to be a really strong relationship.
It depends on the style of you.
Or you go with the knowing them for a year, which then you know a lot about them. You know a lot about them. And so you can pick whether you think this will be a good relationship or not, but there's not so much freshness that comes with the relationship. It's just basically you're in a relationship, but you've just known them for a really long time, so there's not much freshness with it. But you know that there's a connection and there's stability with it. Which
I
one? I feel like that's just preference, though. I really do feel like that's just
Yeah,
preference.
definitely. Like I've heard a lot of people say I prefer to learn about them during a relationship rather than being friends with them first. I've definitely heard a lot of people say that because you learn more about them right off the back. Me personally, like my personal preference, I definitely like waiting. If I find someone really cool, I might even like them. Like after a month of knowing them, I don't think I'm gonna hop in a relationship with them. I feel like I want to know them a little bit more. I want to know their ins and outs before getting in a relationship with them because I don't want to be hurt.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's just because it's such a big commitment.
and
Like that's a
also another thing with me is I don't do a lot of actions with my friends, but I would do in a relationship because I want to make that relationship special.
yeah.
So and that way you might learn like a lot about me through a relationship rather than a romantic relationship rather than a friendship because I will convey more.
Mm-hmm.
And that also comes with the conveying more. That means you're ready for commitment as well.
Mm-hmm. Like commitment comes in every form and fashion, and I don't know, like the relationship, whether it be friend or romantic, there's such a big commitment because you don't know what it'll do to your future. Like you don't know what that will impact when it comes to like the way you think, the new people you meet, the people you won't be meeting if things go awry. There's just so many variables that people are not they're not terrified, but they're definitely weary that there might be a bad outcome to the situation, and so the commitment there is really intense.
Yeah.
And so many people will procrastinate on that. But usually, I don't even know if that's considered procrastinating, because usually if you're thinking on it, you're thinking on it.
Yeah.
You're thinking on the commitment and like, do I have the time? Will I have the time?
That's a part of the commitment is thinking about it.
Yeah. So is that procrastinating? If you're actively thinking on it?
It depends on what you're thinking. Honestly, if you're genuinely giving it a good thought and debating whether you want to go into that relationship, friendship or not, I don't think that's much procrastinating. But if you just stop thinking about it, like say you want to ask someone out, thinking about their values and stuff like that before you ask them out, that's not procrastinating. But waiting until you ask them out, not until the right moment, but just because you're like scared, that's procrastinating.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if fear is a form of No, yeah, it is.
Oh no, it definitely is. That is the reason why a lot of people procrastinate, because they're scared to do it.
I have a fear of rejection, so
I don't. I just go, well, it wasn't meant to be. I move on easily.
No, I do that, but it's usually because afterwards, or like if I ever ask, it's because I've taken the time to think for a really long time on it. And so I've come to the conclusion that when that situation arrives and I'm in that, time of if they're going to say yes or no, I'm okay with the decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've taken the time to understand where things will go. But that's because I overthink, but I don't overthink negatively. I overthink on both sides. The past, the future, all three sides. Past, present, future. And I think of the different regards on that. So call it overthinking, call it what you want.
Overthinking's I hear a lot of people say they're overthinkers. I feel like, well, that could just be because humans think a lot and they don't really expect how much they can think. So everyone's like, yeah, I'm an overthinker, I overassess situations, but some people just aren't. It's just how people roll. But
I overthink on certain situations.
yeah, definitely. But
not everything though. Like,
yeah,
someone asked me what I want for dinner. Oh my god.
yeah, that's overthinking.
Like, no.
Like if you're in a room with someone and they aren't talking to you, and you immediately assume all these things. Like assuming is a big part of like overthinkers, is when you assume stuff without like actual evidence to back it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the big differentiation between the two types of overthinkers that I'm thinking of. I guess a lot of people would classify me as an overthinker, but I don't really think myself as an overthinker because I assess what's possible, what's not, what has evidence, what doesn't, right? And I also here's the big one is what statistically is going to happen more. Like statistically, if I don't know, like I confront someone about a problem they're having, like statistically they're probably not gonna kill me, right? That depending on the situation, definitely heavily, but like just generally, right? That's something that's out of the park. It can happen, but I'm not gonna think about it because statistically it doesn't happen that much.
Yeah.
But I don't know, they might say no, that statistically has a high probability, right? So I'm gonna think about it. Overthinking is just like assuming, basically. That's how I think of overthinking as.
Yeah, just intense thoughts. It's just wacky. I don't know. I wonder, like, for procrastinating in the sense of overthinking or like assuming. Like, have you ever procrastinated by thinking about what you're procrastinating is doing to you?
Yes, yeah.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
I've procrastinating on procrastinating, man. Yeah, but I've procrastinated because I'm thinking about procrastinating. Like I'm going to read a book and then I'm thinking about procrastinating. I'm like, I probably shouldn't. I'm thinking that I probably shouldn't be procrastinating because I need to get this assignment done, right? And but me thinking about procrastinating is me resulting in procrastinating.
I hate it so much.
We talked about how a big part of procrastinating is commitment. Another the biggest part of commitment is also starting up. And I feel like this doesn't directly apply to commitment, but it's a huge reason. Yes, it's a huge reason why people don't why people procrastinate is starting up.
Yeah.
Or here's the bigger one, starting over. Starting up is definitely like hard. And just starting up anything, whether you're excited for it or not, is just something that people procrastinate on. Like again, the whole game thing. That maybe a game for you're excited for. Starting up the game may just be a thing you're gonna procrastinate on. But say you lose all of your progress in a game, or a file gets corrupted, or a recording gets corrupted. Starting over, you will statistically procrastinate more on. Just as Bennett Foddy said, starting over is harder than starting up. I've used that quote a lot. By the way, if you're into like philosophy genuinely, Bennett Foddy says he speaks facts, bro.
Yeah, he really does. And he makes so many people mad by doing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're talking about, you're playing a game. Like, when you're going through an experience, and you know how there's those parts in movies where they're like, you don't understand, and then the other side's like, but I do understand, and then they're both in disagreement of understanding. That's how it's like with a lot of situations when you're actively mad at someone, or something, and someone goes, I understand what you're going through, here's how to fix it. That pisses you off.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. No, I think the reason why most people get so mad at getting over it, which by the way, that's the game that we're both talking about. Yeah. If you haven't already, or if you didn't already know. But it's like you're in like all that progress is just been put down to zero. Yeah. And so what ends up happening is this man's using logic and facts to not discourage or to put down or belittle, but to like back up. But because it's a I don't know. Like, how would you describe that? I'm
know.
wording this very poorly.
Yeah, no.
But I know exactly what you mean, and I know you know. I know you know. I know exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I don't think this is what you were talking about, but it's when he uses those facts in his reasonings, that's proving you. It's like it's almost in a sense proving you wrong, but it's not. It's like it's putting you in the wrong, because it's saying you can do it while you're not doing it, right? You're failing. You're constantly failing, and he's just saying you're able to do it. Just do it. That's basically that's what it feels like. But which in a sense makes you feel like you're being proved wrong, and you wanna prove him right, but you can only do so much until you just give up, and he keeps going, just do it, bro. Like, in a sense, he's saying, like when you're climbing that mountain, he's saying everyone's been through this. Everyone's been through this struggle. Just do what everyone else does. That's not the main message, but that's what it feels like, and that's why it's so infuriating. Which was, I mean, the goal is to piss you off.
If you really want to make someone angry, it's like use statistics.
Oh my god.
For some reason, just like when someone's angry and you use statistics on them, oh my god, it makes them so angry.
Yeah.
It's because like then at that point you're not limiting, you are completely closing off any argument they had against you because they can't argue against facts.
Yeah, they can.
Like,
yeah, it's proving them wrong. Even though that's never the intention, but it does.
Yeah.
What was the big philosophical quote you were gonna say? Because I heard the start of it.
I was gonna say something.
Yeah, because you said because everyone, and then I cut you off.
I can't remember. I was probably procrastinating on it. I have no idea.
Oh yeah.
Happened.
Stop.
If you want to know why I use that quote, go check out the last podcast we just did. Oh well, the latest podcast before
like
this
the
one.
Ad in the middle of the video.
You guys should have dollar shit.
So what was I gonna say? Now,
where's Raid when you need him?
The line of procrastination it's a little bit of a gray area just because procrastination may happen without you thinking about it. But here's one I just thought about. When, let's say you magically don't forget what you're going to say, but someone's speaking and you have a really good point that you want to say, right? Where becomes a point where it's less of you waiting for them to stop talking and rather you procrastinating on saying that point, not because you don't want to, but just because it's solely procrastination.
Where does procrastinating become? When does it split the line of waiting and procrastinating?
Oh yeah, that's just an example, but yeah, that is totally how to word it. The line between waiting and procrastinating. Waiting and procrastinating.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
By the way, I think I have a title, by the way, for the video.
I was thinking on procrastinating of commitment.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
Dang. Jesus Christ.
And then for our title for the changing could be happened. No, I don't know. Maybe.
Honestly, that's not a bad one.
It's not bad. Put those in the notes.
Why did that hit so hard?
I have no idea. Patrick, write that down. Write that down. Oh my god.
Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob.
Have you heard the TikTok version? Where it's just Patrick, shut the fuck up, Patrick.
No.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. I love it.
I'm actually on streaming mode.
Oh yeah.
This is the first podcast where we didn't self-promote in our statuses.
Oh, poop.
Wow.
Dang it.
Hold on. I actually need to genuinely write that down. The titles.
Yep.
And then, okay, go ahead and keep talking as I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, but like I feel like it's just the line is when you're waiting for so long that you just don't want to wait any longer, but you know it's inevitably gonna come over. You're waiting till last minute.
Yeah. And it's
Like a deadline.
Wait, okay. This is why the line between procrastination and waiting is so confusing, because procrastination is waiting.
You're just trying to kill the time.
Yeah, procrastination is an enhanced form of waiting. It's again like the analogy of
Oh, my brain.
it's again like the statement of X is Y, but Y isn't X, right? So like procrastination is waiting, but waiting isn't procrastination.
Yeah. Oh god.
I had another question, but I forgot.
Damn it.
It's so weird because we ask questions to ourselves and then we both answer it. A Q&A towards ourselves. I mean, is that how podcasts work?
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
especially special guests will just be, an actual formatted Q&A. But now I'm procrastinating on the thought. Damn it.
Ah!
But
Oh, well, should we tell them?
didn't we already?
No, about the special guests? Not the special guest, but guests.
So we're gonna be
plural.
taking in special guests?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that it's the new year, we wanted to wait until after Christmas or after the new year to wait on special guest guest because we wanted time to kind of get the format of the podcast running, and we feel like now we do. We have a pretty good schedule with at least pre-planned schedule that we tend to try to follow. And our formatting skills, our editing skills, if you could call them that, and all that jazz, I feel like we have pretty much good. So we will probably be taking in special guests.
I have noticed that since we haven't promoted the podcast in our statuses and stuff like that for Discord, we are getting less active viewers and people chatting.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a
this is the social experiment.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what I'm viewing it as. I view everything as a social experiment in my mind. Honestly.
Yeah, you've told me about that.
I have a whole entire rant to tell you afterwards, but that is not suit for the podcast.
I'm very surprised. And I mean, this isn't personal, but like, because it's just true. Like, you usually want to keep any personal business and anything that you deem personal in your own regard, because what seems personal to someone doesn't seem personal to someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't change how personal something is when it's someone else's business. But the point still remains, like, we keep this podcast pretty personal lives free, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't necessarily have a filter, but it's and I've talked about this at the beginning of when you're in a setting, I don't necessarily have like a filter per se, but I have a things of don't say this just because it's not suitable for the audience, right?
Yeah, no, that's a filter. Yeah, no, that's a filter.
It's there's a gray line somewhere.
That's exactly what a filter is. Like, filtering out certain things because they don't need to be spoken about.
That's true.
And two, you're welcome.
When I view a filter, I view like cursing and words, but certain topics it could also be filtered, right?
Exactly.
We could talk about filters. There's
podcast
so
idea
much to talk about. So why hasn't someone created a podcast called Talking About Talking?
I don't know. I don't feel like it runs off the tongue.
Really? The Talking About Talking podcast? Yeah. Well, no one says podcast when they're talking about podcasts. Because the thing with...
Well, I mean, unless you have the official podcast.
That's true. The official... that fucks with you. Um,
Or like, I don't know, like, depending on what they are, I'll usually call them by, like, you can call, for example, chuckle sandwich, but
or the
if you don't
Chuckle
know,
Sandwich podcast.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
because it usually rolls off the tongue, and two, maybe someone doesn't know about it. It's
Yeah.
just like, what would you call us? Milk?
So my grandpa, I talk to him all the time, and he is like, when I talk to him, sorry, I don't talk to him all the time. That's just a straight up lie. I wish I would, but I should. But anyway, that is a whole separate thing. But with podcasts, when I talk to him, I talk to him a lot about the podcast, is what I meant to say, right? And when I talk to him, I'm like, oh yeah, have you checked it? Like, what is your thoughts on the Midnight Milk podcast? And he's like, yeah. So when I search up Midnight Milk, and I'm like, no, the Midnight Milk podcast, right? And that's the thing. It's one of the this title sounds better as the Midnight Milk podcast instead of Midnight Milk, because Midnight Milk is way too broad. But it just rolls off the tongue a little better. But things like the official podcast, you don't fuck that up, right? No one says, oh yeah, I'm listening to official. You're what? But the fact that this is a little longer than the fact that it has 2 words in it, like Midnight Milk, then people might pronounce it as, oh yeah, I'm listening to Midnight Milk, which, you know, could be a way to shorten it. But if we just named it the Milk Podcast, no one's gonna be saying I'm listening to Milk, because it sounds like you have schizophrenia there. So.
I'm listening to Milk. Who's Milk? The guy in my head. He's a milkman.
Oh no. I have a joke to think about that one. I think you can guess it.
I can guess. Oh my god. Oh, this is so much fun.
Of my mind are an enigma.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. Whoosh. Gotta add the milk spot falling onto the ground noises.
So when did we start this segment?
Actually at exactly 2 hours.
At exactly 2 hours? Okay, so we can run it for a little bit more.
Yeah, we can run this on for about like 30 more minutes or so.
That was interesting voice cracks. What was it?
You good?
You want to say something? I want to take a stroll real quick. No.
I think we can sit here in silence for a couple of more seconds. But no, I don't know. Going back to procrastinating, the overarching word and meaning of procrastination is very interesting to me. Like, you could just say, "Oh, I'm waiting for the deadline," or you could just be like, "Oh, I'm just procrastinating on doing this one thing." But in reality, you could just be like, "Oh, I'm just trying to kill time before this happens." Like, I feel like procrastinating is basically just saying, "Oh, I'm killing time." Why? I just don't want to do it.
Yeah. Killing time because you don't want to do it is procrastinating, but killing time isn't procrastinating.
Yeah. But, like, schoolwork is probably, like, the biggest procrastinating thing ever.
Mm.
But, like, because you usually will procrastinate on the deadline. Like, you'll procrastinate till last minute. And then going back to, like, what you said with, like, waiting. When does waiting become procrastinating? Like we said, I think it really just has to do with the whole, like, deadline. I think deadline is where it's at. Because, like, if you're waiting for a package to arrive, that's not procrastinating. You're just waiting.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, like,
getting stuff done until then,
mm-hmm.
Get something done. Maybe you have to get something done before the package arrives, but you're not going to do it until the package arrives. That's procrastinating.
Yeah.
I
feel like it's
a
okay.
lot of situations.
I feel like it's okay for everyone to procrastinate at least once. It's a good experience.
Everyone does.
Well, yeah, everyone will. But at the same time, I feel like it's a great experience. Especially if you do it for schoolwork. Like, everyone... How or ow?
I said ow.
Like, oh, what'd you do?
I, like, cracked my spine and my ribs hurt.
Ugh. But... Like, I feel like it's a good learning experience. Everyone says, oh, don't procrastinate. But that's usually after they've procrastinated procrastinated at least once or twice, maybe 3 times. You know what I mean?
Or 50, hundreds.
Or 50. Yeah.
I've
Either way.
procrastinated so much in my life. Everyone has.
But like,
Thousands, like, ugh.
they say like, oh, don't procrastinate. I feel
Yeah.
like you should once or twice in your life if you don't ever procrastinate.
You gotta
The
learn.
reason why is it teaches you, yeah, it teaches you time management skills, and it also teaches you deadlines. Because usually, like I said, you're going to be doing it in a school setting where you have an assignment due, or for example, I don't know, like you have to do this thing for school, like a project or something. You know what I mean? There's going to usually be a deadline. You don't want to do this thing because you know how much time it's going to take to do it. When you could be doing something else, like going home and playing your video games or whatever it may be.
What was that?
I had to clear my throat and it just wasn't clear.
I'm like, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Every single time I ever mention this podcast to my family, they're like, "Are you sure that guy isn't 20?" I'm like, I'm not my fault.
I'm fairly sure.
Go ask him yourself. I don't know. Go listen to the podcast, why don't you?
Yeah, go listen to the podcast. I can't say dang in this house. Is that point proven enough?
You can't? Like, genuinely, you can't say dang in the house? Oh.
Oh, they really don't care. Like, ow. That really hurt. Ow. I usually choose not to curse that much, but like, they've heard me curse and whatnot, and they're just like...
Oh, no, they heard me cursing all night before, and like, my mom makes a joke, and she's like, it's I don't know, it's I guess it's become a joke, but whenever she describes to family about me cursing, she's like, "Don't stay up past midnight, or else you'll hear Brayden on a leash." And I'm just like, that is, thank you. I really,
I don't want to hear you unleashed.
Well, just you know, thinking about it, they've you know, known me for 14 years, right? And like, all of the sudden, just one night, I just start cursing up a storm. They're like, "Oh, some demon walked in."
What have you done with my son?
Yeah. Back to procrastinating. I'm procrastinating on it again.
Same. Well, I think it's just because we're trying to kill time. Heyo. I don't know.
That is a perfect way to describe this this podcast. Not this podcast specifically, but this channel. And that specific tone. I don't know.
I don't. Ain't that illegal? What's up, Phoenix? You kind of showed up at the murder is legal. You can't do that. It's illegal.
Well,
I mean,
well.
Where is this going, Zenith?
If you don't get caught.
Okay, I was about to say the exact same thing. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Did you just show up, Phoenix, or have you been here for a while? It's nice to see you.
No, I don't think I've seen them in the stream chat. Yes,
Oh
that
no,
is
and
exactly how it works.
Yes, it's exactly how it works. Oh dang!
Yeah, we have like 20 minutes left. So.
Yeah, we got like 30 minutes left.
But I feel like this Twitch chat definitely was better than the last one, simply because there wasn't less interruptions. We'll call it.
there weren't people talking about you.
Yeah.
He's hot. So that was basically all it was.
No, they were talking about you. They're like, "Oh my god, his voice."
Oh, were they?
Yeah, because if they were they hear my voice every day in school. So why would they call my voice hot?
I mean, I don't know.
This is terrible context for whoever hasn't listened to the past couple of context. Wait,
you should go watch. Wait, hold on. You okay? All the people that are really curious, if you want to know this lore behind this podcast, go watch the.
It's the Xenophobia podcast.
Yeah, Xenophobia and/or Fear People. Oh, and yes, Phoenix, were you there for that? No, you weren't. You were at your hotel or whatever, and you had really bad reception. I remember that now. Yeah. Oh, you were sick. Oh, okay. Never mind. Well, either way. Oh yeah, I was. I remember your life better than you do. But no,
Now, I have a question. Now,
Mhm.
so now that you've listened to the podcast for a while, not you, Storm. Now that you've listened to the podcast for a while, do you think, like, do you still think Storm is an adult, Evie?
Oh, is that their name?
Yeah.
Oh, I just call them Phoenix.
Well, that's because it's their username. They're an IRL.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna call them Phoenix. That's weird. Just as they don't call me Zenith because they don't know me as Zenith. You know.
That is very true. That is very, very true.
But if I will, Phoenix, do you? Are you calling Storm stupid?
Are you calling me stupid? Or are you saying the opposite? Oh. Well, I thank you.
Yeah, no. No, but the thing is like you do like act a little like not necessarily immature, but like see that's not what I was talking about. Like not the fact that he's mature, that he's an adult, but every time my parents listen to this podcast, they think he's an adult solely on his voice. But if you were to listen to it a little further, you would realize that like
if you were to hang out with me,
yeah, that's
yeah. If you were to hang out with me, you would very, very well see that I'm not an adult.
Yeah, it's just because the tone of your voice shows that you have less responsibilities to take on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So you know what I've always wondered?
What?
If I ever go see any of my online friends IRL, I just realized all of them are most likely going to call me Storm.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty weird.
I mean, I wouldn't mind calling you Jackson, because that's just a name that like I know 10 Jacksons. So
there's like only well now they're starting to crop up more in my school, which is kind of annoying.
Actually,
because like beforehand, no one I knew had the name Jackson, and so it just ended up like all of a sudden there's like 3 of them. So anytime I hear Jackson get called in the halls, I go, huh?
Yeah, no, same exact thing for me because I have a basic white name. But no, I've actually had to call you Jackson a lot because, you know, talking to my family, they're like, so who do you do this podcast with? And I say, well, I'm gonna have to say Jackson because Storm is like, who the hell is Storm?
Yeah.
So, I don't remember your old. What was your old username? What? Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Your old. Yeah, no. I was like, yeah, no. I remember. Never mind. Sorry. Dumb thought.
Wait, hold on. I just realized something.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is weird. If your username was your name.
No. It said I don't think the podcast has ever heard my real name. Hi, I'm Jackson.
I've said my name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but then like everyone else was also calling you hot, and that, you know.
No.
Well, they at least said your name.
Anyways, go watch that Xenophobia podcast so that you can make your own judgment and not listen to this idiot forever. We should definitely get back to the podcast or the topic of procrastination because we said
that's what we've been doing because I've just been trying to kill time.
We said that we would get back to it, but then we didn't. And you know what people who do that are? Procrastinators. So
Phoenix, how dare you?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people do is the next hot topic. That's what a lot of people do is that it enhances their procrastination by them saying that they're going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because if you accept that you're not going to do it, it's not procrastination anymore.
Yeah, you're just not gonna do it.
Now, does you saying out loud that you're going to do a task, does that enhance the time? Does that enhance your procrastination, or does it not? It depends on the thought process when you say I'm going to do it. Because when you say I'm going to do it but you're thinking I'm going to do it later, that's going to enhance the procrastination. But when you say I'm going to do it and you're thinking I'm going to do it, then you're going to do it.
Wow, yeah. I feel like it's just like it's wordplay. And I feel like if you tell yourself that I'm going to do this, then you're you're more likely statistically to do it.
No. If you okay,
But
depends
if you say
why
things
you
like
say it.
I'll do if you say I'll do it late, and I mean not to say that you're going to do it if you say that, like not it's 100% proven. But if you say something like along the lines of two different things, like I'm going to do this,
Yeah.
or if you say something like I'm going to do this later, it allows you to be like, oh, I've put myself with a deadline. I will get there at some point. But then you get to that deadline and you're like, oh, I can do this later.
Now, if you say I'm going to do it and use that as an excuse to lift weight off your back, then you're going to procrastinate.
Yeah, because it gets the weight off your shoulders.
Wait, there's another instance.
What?
But if you also say I'm going to do it in order to get weight lifted off your back, but then actually end up doing it to get that weight lifted, that's not procrastination. But some people use it as an excuse to get that weight lifted off their back so they don't have to do it.
Ugh, God. It's just like committing. You don't want to do it. Well, it depends on what it is, of course, but you know. I feel like money's another big thing that has to do with like commitment and procrastination.
Yeah.
And
Now
that goes with anything.
here's a big part of commitment that no one thinks of. When you're thinking about commitment, when you think about like what you're going to do with this commitment and how you're going to prepare to set up to that commitment, people always think, am I going to commit or not? But no one thinks, how am I not going to commit? Because the moment you think, when you're thinking of a commitment, and the moment you think I'm not going to do this, the thought is past. That is an entire new subject of acceptance, which isn't commitment anymore.
Weird.
That's just a weird thought experiment.
Yeah. I don't know.
Thought experiment about thoughts.
One thing that I've always like thought about is like, you know, when you're a kid and you first get you get a big amount of money, right?
Yeah, that happened recently. Christmas.
Well, yeah. But I mean, when you yourself get money from Christmas or whatever, maybe your birthday, and then do you ever go through that dilemma where you're like, I want to buy this thing, but it's the exact same amount of money I have?
Oh, yeah.
And then you make that purchase for the first time. It's when you have that money and you have to make that big purchase for the first time. You're like, ooh, that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
But then once you get older and you've made more purchases, those big purchases seem to kind of go away.
Yeah. Well, those purchases later on in life kind of turns into like a card game, like Inscription, right? What am I willing, like I've done this sacrifice before where I'm gonna spend like maybe all I've got on this one item, but maybe my paycheck comes in. Just as an Inscription, I'm going to make the sacrifice where I lose all my cards, but I get to draw the next turn.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to think about it, but I've been playing Inscription recently, which is a good game.
I can tell. It is a very good game. I still need to finish it, by the way.
Have you beaten all of the bosses on the map yet?
I cannot remember. All I know is one of my cards are really overpowered now because it costs 1 for basically an Uyuruli.
Yeah, let me tell you. And this
no
is
spoilers for the game.
No
though.
spoilers for anybody. Just like talking about bosses on a map isn't gonna be much of a spoiler, right? Let me tell you.
Dang, bro, you just ruined the whole game for people.
You're nowhere close to the end.
Oh yeah.
It has a bunch of twists and turns, like.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah, no, just a bunch of like, whoa, you know? And not even the way you expect. Like, you're gonna have to get there. Like, you might be.
I just got into the radius.
You might be only 10% of the game.
I got into the radius.
Into the radius. I've heard of it.
Look it up on Steam whenever you get the chance, or look it up on YouTube. I'm going to be streaming that at some point, by the way.
I'm not going to be watching, but sounds cool.
Yeah. But for the people that do want to go watch, go follow me on Twitch, right here at Storm Again 0.
We should probably link your Twitch in the profile, shouldn't we?
Well, I didn't want to like link anything. I just wanted this. I really just want this to be just the podcast.
That's true.
In the sense of like, let's just not promote unless it's like our Discords if we ever decide to put them in there.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
no one puts whenever you like get a following, no one puts their Discords. You put a Discord server.
Yeah.
Because you don't want just people friending you and messaging you. And
Should we make a Midnight Moke podcast server?
Well, it depends if we get a following.
That's true.
Because if we only have a couple people, then actually, honestly, that might be a thought because that might get you a little bit farther in following. Because then it's people who want to watch now like when you give in everyone that you're live, then people who want to watch stop procrastinating and actually get on it.
Dude, you know what really gets people into a server? Apparently going into Valorant at like 2 in the morning and just talking about your Discord server.
What?
Not even kidding. So, a very long time ago, last summer, was it this summer? No. Waiting. I cannot remember when it was, but it was a summer. I think it might have been this summer. Yeah, it was. Maybe. Yeah. It was this past summer that we just had. And I created a Discord server called the Lobster Discord server. And it was because of this little emote spray that we had in the game Valorant. Well, we just decided to create a server because we saw the new feature of server hosts or like host events. You know what I'm talking about in Discord? Like the live events where you could host your server and have like a broadcast on Discord. Or like a stage. I think that's what they were called.
Oh, if I lift my
stages.
Yeah, I've seen them like once.
Yeah, well, we wanted to get on there, but you needed a Discord server with a certain amount of people. So we're like, you know what? Let's try to get on there someday. And so we created this Discord server. It was literally just one big meme.
Yeah.
But it was super crazy fun. And we got like over 30, 40 people on that one Discord server. And it was literally just random people on VR chat. It was random people in different video games. It was just a lot of fun. We had streams. We did a podcast called the Lobster.
Yeah.
Wait, are you in that?
I was. It's gone.
You were?
Yeah.
I know why. I know why you're not in there anymore.
It's gone. Well, I left. No.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
I know why. You know why? Yep.
You didn't put yourself in the Lobster memorialized.
I didn't really. I mean, I was only there for the end, so I honestly really didn't care.
Yeah, actually, if you look in server that we're in, egg server, there's a Lobster medal. Actually, only certain people have it. I just went in. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a Lobster medal. Actually, that's what it was called in the server too. But either way, back to the topic at hand. Procrastinating and/or commitment. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
This whole podcast. This one hasn't really been very philosophical. I think it has, but it hasn't been sad or sappy. So there's not really much bright, happy light we need to bring into it. Mainly just like a closer.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. And honestly, the fact that we've just been a little bit off topic and just kind of went a little bit free flowing, I feel like definitely fits the overarching theme of procrastination. So that's how it is.
Yeah. Well, we can ramble on for about 3 more minutes or so. We don't have to go to 30 minutes unless you want to.
I don't really care.
All right. Yeah, we can go. We can just start wrapping it up here.
Okay.
But you got any other things you would like to say about this topic?
Yep. That's it. That definitely suits it.
Really, it really does. We can finish it later.
It's too good.
I don't know. But this is exactly what we want this podcast to be.
Yeah.
We procrastinated on this podcast.
Yep.
The whole thing in general. I think we talked about that.
We did. Let's talk about that. Okay. Anyway.
I knew that's where we're gonna go with that. How?
Because I've made that joke so many times.
Talk about that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna hit this deadline real soon. So let's get those closing statements so we can actually get to work on hitting that button.
All right. Well, yeah. I don't know. This whole this topic in general was just kind of one of the fun ones we could have, where we could just kind of ramble on about how we do dumb things when it comes to procrastinating, and how everyone else does. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much. I think that'll do it. Pretty much the end.
So yeah. Yeah. I've had fun. Once again, hi. I'm Zenith. This is Storm, and
Hello?
I guess we'll see you on the next podcast, which will be live in a couple days, actually, from when this will be uploaded. So I hope you had fun on this Midnight Milk ride, and I'll catch you next time.
See ya.